Welcome to Patreon with Xrissart. My name is Chrissy. Thank you for joining me in this session. Okay, we spent time last session working on the bear and we were building layers. So what we're going to do now is paint in the fur, and hopefully in this session we might be able to do some of this stuff down here. If you have a look at the reference, I think what I'd like to do after the bear is to paint in some of the table that it's sitting on, and then the water's sort of going to be the last bit. So I'm just going to get to it. What I have done is sharpened some pastel pencils, as you can see here. And the sharpener that I use, now you're going to say, wow, they're lovely points. Well, yes, they are lovely points. Because, well, what I've done is I've used a cheapy handheld sharpener. When the blade dulls, I just chuck it. So, you know, every now and again I buy like a whole heap every time I go into an art shop or somewhere where they've got handheld sharpeners, and I just go ahead and yeah, I think I've done, look, there's many ways to sharp pastel pencils, but, you know, sometimes like if I'm feeling energetic, you know, I'm going to use blades, I'm going to use all kinds of sharpeners, and they work, you know, I mean, right down to the vegetable peeler. So, but, you know, that's what I'm doing now. So, some of the colours that I've got, mainly Stabilo Carbothello pencils. As I use them, I will tell you what I'm using. I've got the, there's the Stabilo there, the Faber-Castell, and these ones are the Derwent, and this one is the Conti, the black. I use different brands for different reasons, or for some pastel pencils are softer than others, the core I mean, so it all depends what I'm doing. So I'll just put these aside, and as I pull them out I will let you know what I'm using. So bear, and I will start using the pastel pencils. Now what I've done is I've made sure that I've built enough layers and enough values in different areas to make this bear look 3D. So what I'll do is, and there's an area, if you have a look at the reference, like the third of this bear is sort of covered in water droplets and stuff like that. Good hot morning. Good morning to you, Cherry. Thank you for keeping me company today. Yes, so what I'll just get with the program and start to paint in the details in the fur. What I will do is probably, so it's a bit hard to work out where I need to put some of this, so some of the fur. What I can see is, say, from this point on, I could see the fur. There's some of it is going in this direction, some of it is going in that direction, some of it is going in this direction. It's sort of all over the place, really. G'day, Kathy. Chilly night here. Yeah, chilly night here too with Kathy. Hope you're feeling okay today. Well, you know what I mean. Okay, so I shall start. Now I'm going to make, this one is the Carbothello 103. There's a few of these which I'm actually going to use. If you don't have the Faber-Castell and you've got the Stabilo Carbothello, these are probably the closest, although the Stabilo is softer in the core. So here we go, Stabilo 105 and Faber-Castell 103, you know, much of a muchness, they're pretty similar. But one of my favorites to highlight, you wouldn't believe it, is the pale olive. Now, as you can see, these are all well loved. Look at this. I will use them until I can't hold them anymore. You know, here we go. Okay. Yeah, so I'm thinking the pale olive though is more on the cool side than these two here. Yes, more on the cool side. I'm also going to be using the tan, the Derwent tan, and of course you know I like the Derwents for the colours when it comes to the pastel pencils. Anyway, so I'm going to start. I'm going to go along the back. I've had to zoom into my reference, which I'm viewing on my screen, and I can see underneath the droplets that some of the fur is going this way. So what I'm going to do is I will do that in a gentle way, not too much, because when I start to put in the droplets, I want the droplets to show more than the fur, which is underneath that. But I do want to show a suggestion. So maybe, let me think. Let me just, let me just go this way. Yeah, you really can't see. I was just testing this for a moment. No, I want something warm. Well, just let me test it. Okay, well I'm going to use P570 tan. If you don't have now notice how I'm holding the pencil. I don't want tight fur. Don't want tight fur, I want different random strokes. So, and this helps me to be a little loose. So just short strokes in the very haphazard strokes too, in the direction I'm going this way. So, or maybe, but as you can see, and the pressure is light pressure. Now, because we've put different values underneath, this is all going to come through now that we're doing the fur. Okay. As we're getting into this, just behind, at the start of his back or her back, we don't know what it is, whether it's a female or a male. And there are certain like V's. Look, there's a V. So funny how the northern hemisphere is so hot, and where you're enjoying lovely temperature. Well, I know that they're hot, so, but yeah, I mean, I don't want it so hot. I think that I don't care if it's hot, so long as it's not humid. I think that's when I enjoy summer. You know, I'm near the coast, so most of the time it's humid where I live. So, okay, all right. In some cases, the fur looks almost like a fishbone, like a fishbone, a wishbone. In some instances. And I suppose when we're painting fur with other animals, this is the way that I would approach it. I would make sure that I had, before I started painting any kind of fur or hair, that the tonal values are where I want them to be. Now, as you can see, the way I'm holding my pencil, it really is the most haphazard strokes. The pressure is feather light, I gotta say. Okay, the 177. And in this area where it's dark, I'm just building up some fur that's sort of tucked underneath her leg. Its leg. The nights are the worst. 27. Oh wow! Oh wow! That is warm. Wow, that is warm. Wow, what's going on up there? UK's not normally that hot, is it? I've never known the UK to be that hot. Changing. P570 tan. Carbothello. Oh gosh, 704. And I'm just, the strokes are in the direction of the fur, so they're sort of diagonal and little short strokes. ensuring that I keep the colour or the work that's underneath. I just want to make sure that I don't compromise what I've done, because the tones here are the most important. Again, the tan. So I've gone a little bit quiet, just concentrating on the fur and the direction and the application. They think it's the hottest it's been here since records began. Might have to save up for air conditioning. Oh, I think so. I suppose it's something that we here in Australia can't do without, to be honest. I mean, all jokes aside, it does get hot for us too. Oh, hang on. Where did it go? Sorry, I just have to get my my reference. I just lost it. Jeepers. Where did it go? Beg your pardon. Yeah, got it again. So I'm trying to do my granddaughter's portrait and I'm using white Pastelmat. It's weird because it seems to stay blotchy and I can't get a smooth colour. What are you using? Are you using coloured pencil cherry or are you using pastels? Remember when we said that the lighter colours, for some reason, I don't know why, it shouldn't be, but I don't know why, the texture, I don't know, the surface is just that much tighter. Sometimes I don't know whether it's my imagination or it's, yeah. Because we've talked about this before, haven't we? Yeah. And this is the fur coming out. Just here, using pencil strokes, making the fur fluffy, and where the line is quite severe is to see if we can get some fur coming out into the from the background, like as it is where the background is. Of course, this is going to, a lot of this is going to be covered. Okay. Sometimes the fur goes one direction and then the fur goes then in another. So I'm just trying to capture the direction. You can't draw every bit of hair that goes in, but what you can do is make strokes that go in the direction of the fur. Yeah. You're using mostly pastel pencils. Don't think I'll buy the white again. I use the white for coloured pencil. That's so, for example, there's a pad that I get, which is the pad of, it's the green one where this one comes from. There's light green, there's dark green, there's blue, and then there's white. Okay, so I save the white for the coloured pencil because I think that if you're trying to figure out like for value when you want darker shades, particularly when you're doing landscapes, I mean it's really good for you know, for portraits and stuff like that, particularly the dark green, where the dark green offsets, you know, I mean it depends on if you're going to, you know, fill the whole pastel, the whole surface, but for me it, you know, this is just the way my eyes are. It helps me. Although portraiture is really good with the neutral colours as well, but that's another story. But I understand what you mean with the white. It's the light colours. You know, you just it's the light colours. That's what it is. Yeah. The pale olive. There's short strokes in this part. And I want to make sure that I'm leaving some of the dark bits underneath, because I really want that to show. I've not tried the coloured pencils on Pastelmat yet. Yeah, different to, say, for example, what's the, yeah. Again, on the Pastelmat with the coloured pencil, it's a different process, but you can put a lot of layers with the coloured pencil on it. Different, say that with the Stonehenge that I'm using with my coloured pencil project, it's a different, a different application. So you got to change the way you use coloured pencil with Pastelmat, but it's not wasted. I'll tell you that now, it's not wasted. Something darker here. Okay. Yes, so, yeah. I have tried the coloured pencil, yeah, like I said, and just having another read of your comment again, and it's making me think back to some of the coloured pencil projects that I've used on with Pastelmat. Yeah, totally different way. Surface has everything to do with it, you know. Regardless of what you're working on, regardless of medium, you know, for example with oils, you know, even like the surfaces on the different canvases, you know, there's linen, you know, there's cotton, you know, they all do things, you know, and you've always got to modify your painting strokes accordingly. So regardless of what medium, and again, you know, pastel pencils on Pastelmat. I mean, I don't think there's any better surface than Pastelmat when it comes to pastels. But, you know, I don't mind the UArt 500 on that. Oh, no, so what am I saying? 800. Oh my gosh. But anyway, that's another conversation. Alright. Okay. You know, I'm not going to do too much to this bear as far as the fur is. I've gone as far as I think I'd like to. There's just some really big highlights here which I want to capture. And one or two here. All right, so I added his teeth in here, by the way. He's got, yeah. All right, so now I'm going to get into the table. This part of the table, and this part of the table, and see if we can, because the water and the fish is going to be one of the last things. And also there's some birds as well, which are flying out of the painting and into the or out of the paint, out of the frame, and then we'll put the water in. Okay, so let me just have a look. All right, so the colors which I think would be good here are the I've got the burnt sienna tint and the burnt sienna shade. So let's go with that, hey? Let's just put that there for the time being. And I'd like to mix as well. So I think before we do that, there is the frame that it's leaning against. So let's just do that. See, this is interesting. See how, Cherry, you mentioned how the white, well, this light green works pretty much the same way. It's only just a little bit better than the white as far as, you know, but I can still feel that it's so much more tighter, this one, but I'm making it work. Oh, and I've got some gossip for you. Do you want to know what it is? It's not related to art, though. I thought that might prick your interest. I'm getting a second dog. Same breed. It's a puppy, and it's going to be a female, and it's related to Athena. So, see, right now Athena is not far away from me, having a little bit of a rest, listening to my voice. I'm that interesting that she's fallen asleep. Yes, Cherry. What? What am I doing? What am I doing? There's a reason for that. It's not so much for Athena, but it is and it isn't. It's the two dogs keeping each other company. So, and I figured if I'm going to do it, like, I have to do it now, otherwise I'll never do it, and that'll be it. And so, yes, it's another puppy, and there's more training. Yep. And she's 4 weeks old, and it's another goddess name. Hubby said it was all right, so it was all right. I'm allowed. So it's Athena's half-sister. They share the same dad. It's the same breeder. She has 2 females that she breeds and 1 male. And yeah. Okay, now I just added a bit of black because I wanted to see if I could show a bit of separation. So I love this brush so much. It lets me get... Thought you were going to say you were going into... Yes, I did. You are correct in saying that. But you know what happened? I thought about it on the weekend. This weekend that just passed. I thought... I wanted to breed her. But I thought, how am I going to do that? I don't have the... I don't have the time. I'm thinking, not that I'll have anything much to do with it. Athena will be the one that would have been doing all of the work, of course. But I thought, what happens if something happens during the labour, during the birth, you know? So I thought, I thought about that carefully. So Athena is 6 months now, and I want to get her before she goes on heat. Well, 6 months is when they desex. They won't desex any sooner than that. Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. So there you go. You heard it first on Patreon. Not that it's anything to do with art, but just you guys know me well. Okay, so I'm actually happy with that. Oh, hang on, I just need a... Oh, this will do. I just need a lighter value, just at the edge here. For someone who hasn't had pets all their lives, all of a sudden I'm going to have 2 dogs. Yep. Alright, so let's just do this. I want to mix enough of the pastel. Alright, let's start from here now. I should go horizontal because it's in the direction, there's grain, so I'll go in the direction of the I was just thinking it'll be faster with a bigger brush. You'll be getting cats, rabbits, and more soon. Look, you know what? I'm not even going to say never say never. Okay. I don't think my husband would let me get cats and rabbits. I'm lucky that I've got these. I'm lucky that he said yes to the dog one dog, let alone two. Anyway, so that's what's going on. The new pup is 4 weeks old, and I've already selected it. It lives very far away from me, so it's another, long drive, because we go driving all over the state, it seems. Oh. I feel like I should be ambidextrous. It's a bit hard. Burnt sienna, extra dark. There's a shadow right about here. And there's a shadow basically behind this frame. So just had a news flash, record just hit in the UK for 39.1. Wow. All right, well, that is warm. Okay, that is warm. And it's only midday. Wow, we'll probably have some floods next. Oh, geez. I hope not. I'm just adding the darker value, which is closer to the frame, and then I'm going to use a lighter, add the tint to make that lighter. I'm just putting down pastel. And what I'm doing is I'm pushing the pastel in the tooth because this color is I need well, I need quite a lot of layers because I can still see the surface. So all I'm doing now is just putting in quite a few layers of pastel. I just wanted to ask, do you mind if the when we're doing our portrait next, do you mind if it's a surreal one? But you know, there'll be skin coloured, there'll be skin tones, but it'll be surreal. Just wanted to make sure that you're okay with that. We don't want it to be an ordinary portrait now, do we? You know I love portraits, still need to get all the features in the right place, so any portrait is good for me. Okay, cool. And our portraits will always be like that. Burnt Sienna extra dark. I was wanting to do portraits that got me into, it was wanting to do portraits that got me into art 3 years ago. Okay, now I gotcha. Oh yes. Red iron oxide. rather a slow process, but I have to say a satisfying, and I'm satisfying, and I've got control. And so this is something that you have to watch out for, Cherry, when now that you're using white, is the only way to overcome the difficulty with what you're coming up with this portrait that you're doing of your granddaughter. The only thing I can suggest is to keep on layering. But if you're using the pastel pencils, just remember that to go lightly, like not because it's white. That's what I'm trying to say. Because it's white, I don't want you to destroy the tooth of the paper before you get to do details, say, for example. Do you know what I mean? And then you won't be able to put any pastel down, which will be a shame. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, that's my only thing that I can tell you. Now, you're a very accomplished artist, so I'm sure that you'll work it out, but that's the only thing I can tell you about what you're doing right now. And that's anyone who's using, say, white Pastelmat. You know, that's, I mean, for coloured pencil, oh my gosh, be fantastic actually. But yeah, it all depends on your, you know, your application. Okay, now I'm not going to go too much into this part because there's water here, you know what I mean? There is the table here, so I'm going to make sure that I get that in. You know what, there's a bit of red iron oxide in that one, and a bit of the burnt sienna tint, more of the burnt sienna tint, more of the burnt sienna shade, and just about here. And that's part of the frame there, so I've got to make sure that I do that. Okay, you use pans for the background, but it's a small piece, hence the pencils. Okay, I'll. It'll take me a week just to put my fur on my bear, so I can take my time. Yeah, it does take a while. As you can see, we've been working on this bear for a bit, and I'm sure once I've put the background in, I will want to do something to it. And this is all before the water, okay? Before the water. And I don't mind going over the line here because the water's going to go on top, okay? So This is the frame, just the bottom bit, which I forgot to do. Okay. Okay, so we need to do this area here. Here we go. I think that's okay to do it like that. Where are we here? This is interesting. There's lighter bit, and then there's a darker bit. There's a lighter bit, and then there's a darker bit. It's the grain of the table. So let's see how we go with that. Now I'm going to probably paint to about here. So all of this is going to be water, so I'll just paint to about here. And it's all about applying enough layers. It's just getting all the pastel down into the tooth of the paper. all this bit here is water. I'll take a photo of my portrait for FB so you can see how far I've got. Lots more to do and adjust the look. And something that's worthwhile doing does take a long time to do. So, you know, don't rush it. Whatever you do, don't rush it. Take your time. If you need to erase, use your kneaded eraser. The portrait that you're doing it's not an easy one, but one that you're capable of doing, Cherry. Most definite. You'll have no problems. You're going to do well. Now the colour that we're going to use, we'll do this next week. The colours that we're going to use for the water are going to be things like this. The turquoise extra dark, the turquoise shade. There's also a touch of a green. It's almost the most teeniest of touches of green, more of the, say for example, the phthalo green. These are the colours, sorry, the phthalo, what am I saying? Is that the phthalo green extra? Yeah, the phthalo green extra dark with, of course, the white, okay? So they're the colours that we're going to use next week for the water. And once we put layers down with the water, we're going to just work in detail of the table. So yes, okay, so just get ready for that next week. While I'm still trying to put down some, because I can still see that green through, I'm just trying to fill that tooth. That's the thing with using the lighter Pastelmat. I think if it was darker, then I wouldn't have to worry so much. All right, let's have a look. What have we done so far? I think we've done a lot today. Let's put this aside. Wow, it's starting to come together, I think. Yes. Well, we've still got lots to go, but so hopefully next week we're going to work in the water. I think we'll do the fish last, hey? Well, almost last. It'll be one of the last things we do. How about that? Yes, and there'll be... See, there's water all the way here. Yeah. So I'm really happy with how this is going. Very much a surreal running water, bare waterfall-ish. Can't wait to see the water. Okay then, Kathy, thank you so much. Okay, I've written the colours down. So terrific. All right then, bye for now, and thank you all. And thank you for those who are having a look at this in the replay. If you've got any questions, please let me know. I'll see you all next week, and have a rest of hopefully the rest of this week is good for you. Bye for now, everyone.